Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the beautiful Theatre Paradox in Montreal. Pandemonium 3 coming at you. Our next matchup is a #1 contendership for the Cruiserweight Championship. And participant number 1, Will Worton. Not exactly beloved here. Will a bit out there sometimes, very energetic. Will just giving the crowd a piece of his mind. Big double thumbs. I don't think he means anything good by it. And the music for his opponent hitting. Listen to this reaction. They all know who he is. That's right, Jimmy Woods. Listen to this reception from this packed house. They love fearless Jimmy Woods. Jimmy always upbeat, always looking for good competition. You can see that his left shoulder is taped up. Some people use that just as a bit of an additional insurance policy, and others do it because of some kind of lingering issue. It usually becomes a target, though, for the opponent that's paying attention. There's the bell, and we're underway. Again, a #1 contendership for the Cruiserweight Champion, Paulo Triasi's title as of right now. Collar and elbow tie-up, center of the ring. Neither giving way to the other. Jimmy pulling in a nice side headlock. Will backing him up to the ropes. And a nice push-off, but a shoulder block for his trouble. Jimmy following him in, only getting a 1 count, but perhaps letting Will know that he is here to compete. Will contends that Jimmy Woods is jealous of him, jealous of his good looks, his achievements, all of his skills. But to the trained observer, we know that Jimmy Woods would prove that to be a ludicrous statement, as he's showing his athletic prowess right here and now. Nice waist hog, pushing up against the top rope. Goes into a scoop schoolboy, getting a 1 count. Fast and furious right out of the gate. You never know when you can catch your opponent sleeping. Will incensed. And the crowd just screaming and yelling for Jimmy Woods and affecting Will Worton in a way that he shouldn't be allowing. Nice step over, control of the arm and a low arm bar. Beautifully applied to the elbow joint and forearm. Arm wringer into shoulders. An arm wringer again, and now elbows to that tricep area. Right back into that low level arm bar. Great way to hyperextend the elbow. Extremely painful. With Jimmy Woods reaching around in a crossface and pulling it back into a front chancery. Wrenching up on it. You can put someone to sleep this way if you sink it just right. It's a matter of getting your form across the windpipe. Jimmy uses it going for a suplex. He's blocked, and now Will Worton switching off wrists. 2-on-1 and a nice arm wringer again. Jimmy Woods with one of his own and pulling it back into a side headlock and a nice hip toss carryover. And now riding in a huge side headlock, cranking up on Will Worton's neck. Will rolling up. It's a great way to set an escape because now your opponent has to think about it, but a nice ankle pick. Back and forth we go. Back to a standing side and now a hip lock carryover. Jimmy Woods wrenching up again. Very effective way to apply this hold. Laying across the upper chest, restricting his airway that way, and then yanking up on the head. Again, you can put someone to sleep this way, but a great defense by Will Worton. Pushing Jimmy back into a nice head scissors. Jimmy clamping on, and he's got the crook of his knee wrapped right around the chin of Jimmy Woods. That is great placement. Jimmy keeping his shoulders off the mat, but opening his midsection up for those huge strikes. Now Will holding on to the wrist and throwing more punches. Now trying to block Jimmy Woods' attempt at an escape. Jimmy Woods trying to bridge. rolling the shoulder and elbow. There we go. Nice stand up into a neck bridge on the top, and over we go. And again into that beautiful laying side headlock. Will Worton bringing him up to his feet, perhaps maybe a safer position. Jimmy Woods attempting again, but getting a kick. Will Worton slipped him and is throwing kicks now. Will Worton wrapping him up in a nice seatbelt roll-up. That's deep, but Jimmy Woods able to use his weight. He's able to kick free of that. Will Worton whipping him off. Back and back they go. A nice shoulder tackle. Will Worton, tremendous technique. Getting his feet planted and popping at the hips and going forward. Up and over. Jimmy Woods sidestepping. Leapfrog. Will Worton back. And then we go in a nice high hip toss. Beautifully done. Clothesline. Now a back elbow. Jimmy Woods throwing great offense together here. And now that high elbow drop. And he gets a 2 count this time. Yeah, good strategy by Will Worton here, bailing to the floor. Great idea. Put some space between you and your opponent. You have a 10 count in which to take a breath, collect yourself. Jimmy Woods using it as an opportunity to tell the crowd what he thinks of them and that it's not happening. Jimmy Woods following to the floor. Will Worton paying absolutely no attention, but he sees him now. Woods encouraging him back into the ring. Will trying to leave the ringside area. Luggage tossed back into the ring. Jimmy Woods following. What does Jimmy have in store now? Nice right hand. Now head control. Throwing those short body shots, tightening the ribcage. Referee trying to break the contact, and Will Worton using it as an opportunity for the ever-popular eye poke of doom. Now Worton throwing a clothesline of his own. Nice top mount. Now just raining down big left hands to the side of the head of Jimmy Woods. Worton over to a cover. Leg hook gets a 2 count. Each man finding out how close the other one is at the moment to getting a pin. Worton now yanking him across and wrenching his arm around the middle rope. Worton backing off before the 5 count. And there you go, winding back for that big kick off the rope. Woods into the corner now. Worton following up. Nice chop. Following those 2 huge punches by Will Worton. Oh, and Jimmy Woods explodes with a knife edge, and another. Missing on the 3rd, and a beautiful arm breaker. Worton may have him. That was a long 2 count that time. Jimmy Woods getting closer and closer. He is in deep trouble here. Now Worton working the right arm and now to the left. Almost picking him apart like Ronnie Garvin. Dropping the big double knees. Great way to break an arm, folks. And now standing for control on the arm and stomping at the wrist. Back into a cover. Is the pain enough? No, Jimmy Woods back out again. Worton can't believe it. He's picked a body part. He's got to keep working it. A whip in. Worton throwing a big boot to the midsection. Up and over. Beautiful snap suplex. Floating over. Nice deep cover this time. 2.5 again. Jimmy Woods hanging on just by the skin of his teeth here. This crowd trying to get behind Jimmy and will him to his feet, will him to take over. Worton sets a front chancery, looking for another suplex. Jimmy Woods throws a right. Worton thinks he's got the winning combination now. Oh, and he gets turned inside out by Jimmy Woods with that beautiful snapping neck breaker. Big clotheslines. Jimmy Woods starting to take over, starting to get some control here. Momentum could be going his way. Reversal. This time Worton steps back. Beautiful catch and an Arn Anderson-like spine buster. The difference on those spine busters is when you pick your guy up and rotate a full 180 and slam him into the ground using acceleration as a great force magnifier. Jimmy Woods looking to throw another great big one. Ducks under, nice side head control. Looking for the pickup, but getting stopped. Back elbows to the side of the head. Worton takes control, looking perhaps for a trapped arm belly to belly. Jimmy Woods dropping his hips, regains control, and now shoves Worton off. Worton back up, missing with a high clothesline attempt. And a side effect by Jimmy Woods. Ladies and gentlemen, this could be it. And it is. Ladies and gentlemen, Jimmy Woods is your victor and the #1 contender for the Cruiserweight Championship. This crowd is going absolutely insane for Jimmy Woods. What an outstanding matchup. Incredible effort by Will Worton, but it just wasn't his night. Jimmy Woods catching that enormous side effect, putting Will Worton away. Thank you for joining us for this exciting matchup. Stay with us, ladies and gentlemen, as we bring you more tremendous matchups from Pandemonium 3.